Das Radical.
So according to a new poll made by Gallup, the support for the Icelandic government has dwindled severely. According to the latest poll, which was conducted around the 10th of this month, support for the government is now only at 37.9%, which is, in a word, bad, and in more words, not good. Although bad, 38% is, well, it's not as bad as one might think on a glimpse. I'm gonna show you some statistics to show how this compares to other administrations, but first a little bit of greater context. For one thing, it isn't uncommon, in fact it's pretty standard that support for any government is at its highest right after election, and then it usually dwindles to some extent. Some administrations go, of course, lower than others, and some start up with a higher approval rating than others and all of that. But overall it is not unusual for a government to lose support over the course of their reign. This can be explained by the simple fact that right after any election, when a coalition government is formed, people are quite excited, you know, it's a new chance, a new startup or whatever, you know, great things might happen, and then the policies get laid out and the people who voted for one party, you know, maybe aren't as supportive of everything, you know, that the other party in the coalition or parties contributed to the administration. So it isn't surprising that support for any administration dwindles over the course of time, but still the amount of how much the administration of Katrín Jakobsdóttir has dwindled is quite staggering. Again, if you're new to this channel or new to Icelandic politics, the current ruling administration in Iceland is formed of the three parties: the Left Greens, the Progressive Party and the Independence Party. And, you know, I can't help but think that maybe instead of showing the three party logos, maybe a singular logo for the administration would be more appropriate. There we are! Yes! Now that is a fucking logo! Alright! Now, as evidence for the fact that it is uncommon for an administration to keep their support throughout their entire runtime, I want to note for the record that it has only happened about 7 times in the past 100 years that a coalition government has managed to pull through an election. That is that a particular administration stays in power, that is all parties forming said coalition stay in power even after an election. In fact, I think in only 7 occasions it has happened that an administration has stayed on. Let's see, that has happened only in 1931, 33, 37, 63 and 67, and 99 and 2003. But, you know, that is just the Icelandic political landscape for you in a nutshell. No stability. Now, if we look at these graphs that I took from the Gallup website, you'll notice that the approval rating of the current administration is still not as low as the 2 previous administrations. So both the administration of Bjarni Benediktsson and Sigmundur Davíð managed to once reach approval ratings of 30% or something like that, which is ridiculously low. And also another interesting fact, keep in mind that when the Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration first started, it had an approval rating of around 74%, which means that it has dropped by 37 points since then, which is astronomical. It is, however, a little bit less than the administration of Jóhanna Sigurðardóttir, who I think managed to fall from having approval rating in 60-something% down to 28, or okay, maybe I think, or maybe they have fallen about as much in approval rating, but also 28% approval rating, Jesus. Now, another interesting thing to keep in mind, though, is that the startup approval rating of the administration of Katrín is the highest startup approval rating of any of our administrations, at least according to this graph, since 2007. So, you know, one needs to note the fact that the Katrín administration simply has much more, you know, room to move around, and you know, it has the ability to drop much further than, say, the administration of Bjarni Benediktsson, which started out with an approval rating of 43%. Yep. In the first month of the administration, it didn't even have support of half of the population, or a little over that. No, they started in 43 and went all the way down to 30 within several months. But then again, a scandal or two may have helped with that. But, oof, that's pretty bad. So I just wanted to give you the full context on how this isn't, you know, the worst polling data that we have ever seen so far. Unfortunately, it is not. I kind of wish it was, because, you know, it would mean that generally we had more faith in government here in Iceland, but apparently not so much. Not since, you guessed it, the 2008 crash. Yeah, fucking crash. Has ruined everything, till this day. Now, if you're wondering why this major drop in popularity, well, at least in the last few weeks, only about 2 or 3 months ago, the government was polling around just under 50% in approval rating, and the reason why they're so low right now, or why they dipped so fast, so quickly, may have to do with mainly two things. First, there was the continuous reporting on some of Bjarni Benediktsson's financial dealings in and around the financial crash of 2008. Yeah, so without making this video too complicated, there were some information revealed about his exact financial dealings revolving around the financial crash, and, well, the district commissioner of Reykjavik, Sýslumaðurinn, banned the reporting of said files right before the last election. And so, yeah, basically the district commissioner banned the news about these financial reports to be released to the public, and this has now been contested a lot in the court system here, and it was recently allowed for the news to continue reporting on this. But yeah, in case you're wondering, yeah, the district commissioner, yes, he is a member of Bjarni's party. What a coinkydink. Also, interestingly, there was recently a report that stated that Iceland was among the least corrupt countries in the world. I think we were like just barely not on the top 10 list, like somewhere on the top 20s or something, which can tell us two things. Either the people who make these lists of uncorrupt countries need to take their meds, or perhaps we should just really start to worry about all the countries that poll even lower than Iceland. Now, according to another poll, Iceland is most definitely considered to be the most corrupt out of all the Nordic countries, but that to me doesn't really mean much. That's like saying that somebody is the smallest kid in kindergarten. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. And another thing that has probably not helped to increase this administration's popularity was that according to the physical financial plans of the administration for next year, 2019, well, the media kind of covered this weirdly. So originally the administration was going to give additional 4 billion kroner to help people on welfare. However, according to the newest draft of the financial plans of next year, they're going to only give an increase of 2.9 billion. And the way the media reported, or some of the media reported on this, was that the administration was cutting 1.1 billion kroner from the budget that was supposed to go to people on welfare. Now, I don't know how much welfare related stuff a billion krona can buy to you, so I just have no idea on that, but basically the headline said that they had cut 1.1 billion of the budget, when in reality the budget wasn't even out. They just lowered the amount that they were gonna raise. So, you know, instead of raising an additional 4 billion, they only raised an additional 2.9 billion. Now, again, I'm pretty sure that even 4 billion would not be enough to tackle the issues that we have with poverty in Iceland at this moment, but the way a lot of people commented on this, and you know, the way the media reported on this, should tell us that we should really start to worry about the amount of people who only read headlines and not the actual articles, because the way people were talking about it was clearly very misled. I mean, again, I don't like that they decided to minimize the increase by about 1 billion, but you know, I stick to the facts on the matter, because, you know, I read the entire article. But that's neither here nor there. But this is something that might also have contributed to the decrease in popularity for the administration. Now, I'll admit, I still support the administration. I mean, I'm not like all out there doing something like, yeah, Katrín Jakobsdóttir administration, yeah! But, you know, I still overall support the administration, because to me, I think, what's the alternative? And, well, obviously the alternative is the opposition, and oh my god, just whenever any member of the opposition just opens its mouth, I just start to get, you know, vomit into my throat immediately. It's like, what the hell are they even doing? Or, as you get, the Pirate Party, for example, they recently proposed a new bill that basically the only thing the bill would do is that the members of parliament would no longer refer to each other as highly honorable MP of Northeastern District, but instead would say Sir MP of Northwestern District. So yeah, they would, you know, reduce the title from Hæstvirtur Þingmaður Kjördæmis. Yeah, I think most honorable MP would be the best translation. Yeah, and they want to reduce that to just Sir, or, well, Ma'am, in case it's a female MP. But yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that the opposition is doing. So nothing there to really support either, except for maybe the People's Party. Again, leave it to the People's Party, you know, leave it to a grassroots populist movement to be the only party that brings anything actually coherent to the conversation. And don't even get me started on the Central Party. God knows I've spent way too many videos on this channel already just ranting about them. You know, still, one can't help but wonder, will this coalition government last? That is, you know, out its entire 4-year term. And, well, the way things are right now, I'm guessing that they probably won't last the entire 4 years. There's about 3 more years to go. But on the other hand, there's nothing that suggests, at least not to me right now, that the government will collapse either. I mean, unfortunately, having low approval ratings doesn't mean that you immediately get ousted. There needs to be some sort of scandal, something unexpected or whatever that causes, usually that's the way it happens, that causes, you know, one of the parties in coalition to pull out, and or perhaps if there is actually a vote on disconfidence in the administration, and obviously when that happens, usually the MPs of said administration will vote against that. So I'm not seeing that the administration of Katrín Jakobsdóttir is going anywhere anytime soon unless something very unexpected happens. If something were to occur, it's probably going to be something related to the economy. Right now everybody is panicking, the Icelandic currency, the krona is weakening, maybe there's a new crash right around the corner. I'm a little bit more like, slow down, most economic setbacks in Iceland aren't crashes, they are slow progressing downturns in our economy. The 2008 crash was really just basically the exception that proved the rule. Usually economic setbacks don't occur like that. For island nations are, by their especially small island nations, are by their very nature highly susceptible to the changing winds of the world economy and the world political situation. So it doesn't take that much for the economy here to, some tweaks in the world economic system may affect Iceland very negatively, very easily, because our economy is so small and so isolated still. But all the things that caused the 2008 crash, we are not really in the same situation now, so a setback on those proportions is in my mind very unlikely. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is, I don't think that the administration of Katrín Jakobsdóttir is going to end anytime soon. I don't think they'll last the entire 4-year term, and that was to begin with a pretty tall order for an administration with the Left Greens, the Independence Party, and the Progressive Party together. It was not something that anybody expected to last very long, but the journey is still very interesting, and we'll just see how things evolve from here.
Das Radikal.